not saying that they are like, they're just saying the same thing.
Oh, it's a show.
Let's go about there. To show.
Not sure.
It's not showing.
It's there now. It's your network. It's
It's
live.
not it.
I need to send.
What happened? We're on now, right? Just confirm if you can hear me. Use my earpiece. You can hear me clearly, right? Talk. Okay. Can you hear me clearly? Yeah. Can you hear me clearly? It's clear. Alright. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Yeah. I'm using my earphone. Okay. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Please, let's confirm where the audio is coming from here or from where.
You just
Okay. Can you hear me? Am I clear enough? Okay. Is the audio clear? Like, is there echo? Is there echo?
you just talk for like 5 seconds.
Okay, no trouble. Alright, so it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I am Carol God, and I'm the founder of People Smart. And this is going to be the first of many series that we're doing. This is the morning meetup series. A lot of people, when they come in, they already think crypto. I get it because no company is People Smart. But actually, before you can
Sound is.
echo, so it's not coming from here. Wow. Okay, let me use my earpiece.
Okay, try.
Get my earpiece.
It's speaking that far.
Yeah, it's in the phone.
So turn off the phone. Okay.
Let's show you.
Is it still echoing?
Let's calm down.
Is it still echoing?
But it's, the echo is here.
I think it's the plan. Great plan to do. But it's better.
Okay, you talk. And then just talk. Let me hear.
Like, it's better now. It's better now. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, and then now you talk.
Okay, so this is kind of God, and we're still doing testing. Please, if you like already, please, you can chat, you can send a message on the comment section, so we know how the audio is. So I will not spend like 1 hour talking, and everybody saying, oh, can you hear you, the audio is bad. So please help us also, so we can make sure that everything is right before we officially start. Okay, so we'll put this together. Alright, okay, so now starting officially, this is 10:40. Alright, so my name is Carol God, and I'm the founder of Crypto Smart. And Crypto Smart is an asset management company for businesses. That's a B2B asset management company. So a lot of people who are clients are mostly businesses or individuals who have a certain amount of resources that could also be qualified as businesses. We started first with crypto education, teach people how to trade, how to get into the crypto space, and then we grew from there to doing the same thing for businesses. So we started with individuals and started working for businesses, and then we also went to the level where we are now building our own crypto smart products, our own blockchain products. And recently this year we expanded by having a tech arm, and the name of that tech arm is Borderless, where we train people on how to become developers, how to become UI designers, how to also become product managers. There are also other things that we do at Borderless, such as computer repairs. We teach people how to do computer repairs. We also teach people how to get into graphic designs, and also phone repairs. So, a lot of these other aspects will start in January 2023. But for today, we're talking about money. Now, a lot of people, when they come in, they just say, I want to learn about crypto. I want to learn how to become a crypto person, how to make money from the space. But people don't understand that that before you can become crypto smart, you first need to become money smart. Now, if you're very bad at managing money, if you're bad at multiplying money, you'll have the same problem with crypto. So today's money meetup series is basically first on money management. So this is what I can introductory level. The money meetup series is something we will have at least once every month. So this is for December. We're going to have another one in January 2023, in February, and as time goes on. So I'm looking forward to your questions. Although we already have some questions here, the people who filled the form to access the questions. So we'll be answering some of these questions as we continue. So if you're just joining us, please send a message. Let us know where you are joining from. Let us know where you are. If you have any questions about money, let us know what city you're joining from, what country also you're joining from. Thank you so much. So we'll start the first set of, I think 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes we'll talk about money, what it is, what actually makes something money, why is it important? That question seems very weird. Why is money important? So I'll give you a brief moment to basically ask. You can tell us where you're joining from. So let me just go on YouTube and check. And then also, yes, you can send a message on Twitter if that's good for you. You can send a message on Twitter. So we have about 8 people already joining us at the morning meetup. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so just need to check for your questions. Let's see. Then if you're on Twitter also, please also do you can send a link, you can share this link, please. If you're on Twitter, share this link. If you're on WhatsApp, share it on your status, wherever you are at. Alright. Okay, so first off, about money. Pretty sure in social studies in school, when we're in primary school in Africa, in Nigeria to be precise, we have this course, more like a course, called social study. Clean says we love you, thank you. Okay, Rebecca says we can hear you clearly. Joining from Enugu, Abidemi, Ademola, thank you so much. Chibike Mwala is joining from Port Harcourt. Melvin is joining from Owerri. It's good to see you, Melvin. Victory is joining from Port Harcourt. It's good to see you too, Victory. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so let's talk about money first. Okay, Faith is joining from Oyibo. Okay, God bless Harrison is about to tell us where he's joining from. Let's talk about money. In social studies, you hear, oh, money is anything. You hear things like it's a legal tender. It's something that can be used as a means of exchange, something that is accepted and approved by the government. Yes, that's the first level of money. And then when you get to secondary school in economics, they teach you about the forms of money. They tell you things like M1 money. M1 money is money that is in, the type that are in cash deposits, which is ages ago. And you need to understand that economics hasn't really evolved as technology has evolved. So in your textbooks, you might still find things like M1 form of money is money that are in cash deposits, money that are, who does that today? But let's give it money that are in cash deposits or post deposits, money that are in people's houses, kind of like raw cash, right? Then they tell you M2 money is, I'm paraphrasing, M2 money is money in bank deposits. This is before we had the internet. This is before we had things like bank transactions, phone transactions, USSD kind of transactions. So just follow through. So they tell you M2 money is money that exists in bank deposits. In quotes, they mean the bank vaults, the one that you go and you deposit that are existing in their account balance. And then M3 form of money, they tell you is money that is digital money. So this is where the internet comes in. So you have money that is basically digital, that you can transfer from your app, that you can basically use through the internet, and then you have the different forms like credit cards, you have the bank debit cards and all. So these are the different forms of money, right? I've told you how it's different from the school, from secondary school, from primary school, now to the university. Now let's come to the SMART definition of what money is, basically. It's not cash. It's not just deposits. Those are the normal traditional forms of money, normal way of money. What money actually is something that can aid transactions. That's what money is. Whatever that can be used to aid transaction. Something that you can trust, that the other person can trust, that you can use to aid transactions. Money is anything that can facilitate a transaction. Therefore, money doesn't only have to exist in bank deposits. It doesn't only have to exist in cash. It only doesn't have to exist as the digital form of money that banks control. It can exist in anything that people can accept and say, this is what we're going to use to aid our transactions. And because of that, you can have cryptocurrencies. Now, you need to understand the difference, okay? It also means that you yourself can be money. Let me give you an example. As a business person, we do things on credit, don't we? There are times when you go and meet somebody and say, Alpha, see, I beg, okay, let me give you a very, very good example. This is one of our products, Plan A. It's customizable product. It's a journal. Now, I am the business developer for Plan A. We also have people who do printing for us. We've developed a certain set of relationship that I can go and meet my printing guy and say, I beg, money never ready now, but I need like 100 copies of this. Help me run the printing. I'm speaking PG, if you're joining from outside the country, I'll translate later. Help me run this print for me. I'll give you the next week. My words at that point, me as a person, the relationship that I have with my guy, with my print person, is money at that point. Because he was able to help me facilitate a transaction. So first understand that money is not just what the definition they give to us in school. It is anything that can help you facilitate a transaction quickly, whether slowly, as far as so you as the person can be money. I'm pretty sure you should have heard that when people say, don't just look at having money, be money. It's the fact that you can build yourself to the point where you can walk into some places, leverage on the existing relationship, or even on the good name that you have, and borrow money and get money. Credit is a form of money if used right. If used right, and using it right means paying back. That's how you keep the existing relationship flowing. Because once you borrow from somebody that you don't pay back, tomorrow when you need it, you can't go back to them because exactly you've lost that form of money that you had, at that point. So understand that money is not just what we define, what the definition we're given in school as cash or as it's not that. It is more than that. It is anything that can facilitate a transaction. I hope you understand that. Okay, very good. All right, now you need to work with this mindset. So I've given you the two mindsets of money. There's a traditional mindset and there's a smart mindset of what money is. Now, because we are still in this world, like majority of the people in the world function with the traditional mindset of money. That's why we have more poor people than rich people in the world. We have a lot of rich people in the world, but they are not as much as the poor people in the world, right? Because poor people work with the traditional mindset. That's how they work. Rich people work with this mindset. Now, for you to function in this world effectively, you need to know who to use the traditional mindset with and who to use the smart mindset of money with. Now, use the smart mindset of money mostly with yourselves. With your people that are close to you. You can let people understand this thing, It will help your relationship. Then the traditional mindset of money, use it with strangers. People who haven't really come into your space, who you're not probably going to be working with, consistently, who you're not going to be forming, strong relationships with consistently. Because if you go and use this mindset from them, they've not formed a relationship with you. doing. So they will not be able to understand this. Now, for the traditional aspects of money, there are 4 things that you need to look at for your personal income. So we'll define money. Let's come to the personal finance area. Since I've said money is more than just what is defined in school, you can become money. It means that there are other things that you can look at yourself to developing your own personal self, your own relationships, existing relationships that you have with other people around you. And then also your name. If you have a business, if you have let's start with the personal thing as a brand. You know that as a person, there are people that you probably have formed relationship with that you can speak with and say, oh, I want to start up something, support me with this. That's the first form. That's one on its own. The people that you probably have not started doing that with, that you can't even say, who will I go and meet now? And say they should give me money. Because they don't yet trust you. They might be family members, but they've not seen you handle money. Or they've probably seen you how you handle the things, the little things in your house, maybe your job. They've probably seen how you talk about certain things. And they're like, I can't really trust this person. Do you understand? So when you're asking them for money to start a business, their first conversation is, can they really continue in this? So the first set of in your smart money mindset, the first thing that you should start looking at doing is creating a brand of resilience, around you. Somebody that can get things done. Somebody that likes excellence. Because money has a lot to do with your person. It has a whole lot to do with who you are. You will never be okay. I think before the end of this, I'll give you guys some resources to go through. You would really never be more than how you think. That you never have as much money, more money than how you think. If you're somebody who has the mindset of maybe like of little, you always have little money. If you're somebody who has the mindset of abundance, you'll be able to have abundant money. I'll send you some resources so you'll see all of those things that I'm saying. So the amount of money that you can ever control in life is directly, mathematicians will like this definition, is directly proportional to your mindset, to how much you can control up here. It's a lot about who you are. Because before you get money, before money comes to your hands, something happens here first of all, it's the mindset. So a lot of things that I've been saying today will border on personal branding, personal fortitude, and then on money. So understand first of all that before you can get more money, you need to be more of who you are. You need to be more than who you are. That's the word. Before you can get more money, you need to be more than who you are. Before you can get more money, you need to increase your capacity. Fresh thoughts. So don't look at money as just the thing that you do, because think about it. If money is about just hard work and just the things that we do, how many hard work does the people who really have money, the rich people, how many hard work do they do? They can be here, talk. Some of us go to the bank and we need to relate to the branch managers and all. You know that as money increases, that you get to have a sort of relationship with the branch manager. There are sometimes that you don't even need to leave your house. Money can come to you. Do you get? So it's not so much about hard work. It's more about your mentality, how you think, who you are, what you've invested in yourself. You get? So now let's look at personal finance. Yes, we know that money is anything that can facilitate transaction, but cash is important. Supply of money is important. Cash flow, supply of money supply as per personal finance is very important. It's different from money supply that we are being taught in school, economics and all that. Money supply as per how much comes to you on a regular basis is important. Why? Because when in school, when you read in school, they tell you the different, there are 3 reasons people keep money. They tell you something like for savings, they tell you for emergencies, and then for bills that you have to pay and all that. So this is why cash is important. Now, cash is a form of money. It's not just money. It's just something to aid your transaction. But cash is a form of money. Now, and it can exist in your bank balance. It can exist physically. So when we talk about cash, don't only think about the raw cash. Also Basically, think of cash as expendable, money that you can spend, money that you can just use. Now, as we grow up, we tend to find that there are a lot of needs that come in. Sometimes they are needs, sometimes they are wants, sometimes they are just necessities, that we need. And those are the things that the cash go into. It's different from investment. We'll talk about investment later on. Now, as for your personal finance, you need to have money in 4 ways. Your money supply needs to come in 4 ways. The first one is daily money. Now, don't think of daily money as only physical money that comes in. Your time also is money. Your person also is money. So what are the things that you invest in yourself on a daily? You can do that for a while. I think the time frame between when you start giving yourself daily investments and when you start reaping the harvest is usually 1 year. Say for example, every day of this 2023, mention 2023, every day of 2023 that you want to come into, you want to begin making money in 2023, say by December 2023, you want to be having something like making money every day. You need to start doing something to your mind every day. For 1 year, it might be for 6 months, and then the next 6 months is upgraded. And then you now find out that by this time next year, you've actually set up something that's giving money on a daily basis. So that's something that I just told you. So the first kind of supply you need is daily money. Please let me cancel that. Reject it. Thank you. Sorry about that. You need to get daily money. You need to get weekly money. You need to get monthly money. You need to get quarterly money or biannual money or annual money. Now, when you look at it, normally the daily money will come in like, let's say, smaller. In amounts, it will be smaller. Cancel. In amounts, it will be smaller. For weekly, might be slightly smaller. For monthly, it might look bigger. And then it seems like the quarterly one is the one that comes a lot. For example, you could have a business that gives you 2,500 every day. You could have a business that gives you maybe 1,000 naira every day. You could have a business that gives you maybe 5,000 naira every week. You could have a business or something that you do that gives you maybe 50K monthly. And then you could have something that you do that gives you 500K every quarter. Or something that gives you 1 million every year. Now, you need all forms of money. And if you check people who control money, they have all forms. And when they tell you, because a lot of times you feel like, oh, it's rocket science, like it's very hard. It's not hard, it's consistency. That's just what it is. When you hear these people's stories, I mean legit too, not your boy. I mean legit funny. Not scammer. Or the one that will get into crypto and create smart contracts that will rid people of their money. Not that. I mean people who actually got their money the right way, by not hurting other people or stealing other people's money. Yeah, exactly. Not scammers. But when you sit down with these persons and they tell you the things that they did in their 20s, some started as early as teenagers and now they're in their 40s, and they have these processes already set up for them. So I've talked about the 4 supply of money that you need: daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually, or biannually. Right? Now it could also be bi-monthly. Okay. Now let me get off to the next stage by telling you the story. So I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it was a Sunday. I was invited to talk in a church about crypto. I think it's just, yeah. I don't know if I should mention church. No, I shouldn't. But I was invited by Prestige Services. I don't know if you know Prestige Services. It does go to situation or so. And there were some group of young people. There were some elderly persons. And the person that was instructing me said, "Oh, they want to learn about crypto and NFTs." And I was like, "Okay." I was looking at these people. I know that they don't know anything about NFTs or crypto. So I asked them a question. I said, "Okay, so you want to know about crypto and NFT. What do you know about the blockchain technology?" He said, "Nothing. They don't know anything about it." And then I said, "Okay, so why do you want to learn about crypto and NFTs?" And one of the young guys, very agile, young teenager, was like, "Oh, it's the way to make money right now. Not that." And then he said that it's the fastest way to make money. And then he said, not by carrying and offloading containers. So that gave me some sort of insight into what he does. So I felt like probably he's somebody who's involved with manual labor. Not like manual mama, but basically probably someone who has a Oga, you know, the Igbo man style of training and all that stuff. I said, okay, fine. I asked the other lady, she's an elderly lady. She said that she thinks that that's where money is going to. And she wants to get into it to know how to do it. And she was a teacher. She told me later on. I asked the other guy what he does later on. He's a mechanic. He sells parts. Not the mechanic shop, but he sells parts, like motor parts and all with his Oga. So, and I told them something. I said that, he said people want to learn everything. And I was saying this is an industry that people have lost money to because they didn't have the right knowledge. And then I told them, I said, new money, if you're going to get new money, so you need to write this down. If you're going to get new money, you need to have access to new opportunities, new people, and new skills. So new money comes in, new money is, let's say for example, you're earning 50,000 naira every month, and you want to start earning 100,000 naira. You need to start doing something new. You want to start earning 200,000 naira every month. Your income, whether it is work and business, or probably just business or whatever, you need to bring something new. So you need to bring a new skill, take advantage of a new opportunity, and meet new people. That's how new money comes. It will never come in by doing the same old things. So if you want new money, do new things. If you want new money, meet new people. If you want new money, get new skills. And I told them this. And then I talked about crypto. I said crypto is going to be new money for you guys. So the first thing you need to start getting is new knowledge. That's the first thing. You start getting new knowledge, which is translates to new skill. So I told the lady that was the teacher, I said, you need to start learning how to use your phone. Because she wasn't doing manual food, she was taking it with normal notes. I said, you said digital, right? So the new skill you need to start getting now is how to use your phones. That's a new skill. For the young man, I spoke to him. I said, you already have something that brings you a source of income. Don't look down on it. You know, some of us feel like the things that we do, there's dignity in labor, in honest work, there's dignity. And it is your first supply of money. It could either be your daily supply of money, your monthly supply of money, or your weekly supply of money. Don't throw that money away to pursue the quarterly supply of money. Because you need to know something called the time value of money. In 3 months, if you throw the one that gives you money every day away, or the one that gives you money every week, away, to pursue the one that gives you money every 3 months, how would you survive between that period and that other period? So there has to be a definite plan. You have to tell yourself, okay, fine, if I'm going to get into crypto, and I told them, start with learning. I give yourself 3 months to learning. I gave them some resources which I will share with us in the description box very soon. And I said, start giving yourself to learning everything about this thing before you ever start thinking about putting money into it. And that is something that you need to do with whatever new skill you're bringing in. So planning comes into play. You can't just enter 2023 and say, okay, I want to start earning, you that have not earned 500K before, so I want to start earning 5 million on a monthly basis. How? Even God won't even give you that because He has never seen you manage 500K properly. So it needs to come up with a plan. So in this first, as I'm entering 2023, what are the things I'm going to start learning about money? I'm going to start doing about money. How do I make sure that if I'm earning 50K now, I want to start earning 100K? What should I learn? What new things should I learn? What new skills should I learn? What new knowledge should I take? Okay, that's not the new knowledge. There are 4. A lot of these things are in 4. So let me recap. To get new money, you need new skill, new people, new opportunities, new knowledge. Those are the things that you need. Okay, so let's just take a break. Some new persons are coming to. In the meantime, please ask your questions or say something. All right, come on. It's Lady Comas. How are y'all? See. So some new persons just entered the hub. You can ask your questions. Immediately, yeah, new people, new skills, exactly. So while we continue, I'll just share some links with you. Hi guys, you can sit down. So we won a bit far, but the good news is this is streaming live on YouTube, so you can always let's see. Okay. All right. So if you have questions, you can ask. If you have, please let me know if you're learning anything. Please let me know if you're learning anything. Okay. Just let me know if you're learning anything new. You can. Yes, it's recorded. TBD. We're going to. We're posting it immediately as soon as the live stream is over. We're posting it publicly, so you're going to see it. It's good let me know if you're learning anything. Let me say it's learning that cash flow is the king maker. New people, new opportunities, new skills, new mindsets. Who else again? Yep. Personal development. Yeah. Personal development is the daily income. Then it says, what somebody can buy, relationship can pay for it. The banker says, credit is an untapped resource for you. A great relationship can also be a legal tender. Oh, that's a good way to put it. It says, everyone journey from PhD goes to the top. Okay. Okay, faith, please let me know if you're learning something. Victory, let me know if you're learning something. God bless Harrison, let me know if you're learning something. Melvin, let me know if you're learning something. Ubona Senior, oh, from Anambra, that's cool. Let me know if you're learning something. Clinic, please let me know if you're learning something. Alright, so we continue soon. Don't substitute new sources of income, instead add to it. That's a very good. You guys are excellent communicators. That's a very good way to put it. So I'm posting the link for an article that I wrote this year, I think March this year, but I think I didn't publish it till about May, June. It's a fiat versus Bitcoin, and Africa's plan to de-dollarize. That's the name of the article. So you can go through it. It will tell you about the banking system. It will tell you about money. It will tell you why Bitcoin is important. Basically, why did we have crypto in the first place? Why did we have Bitcoin? Once, I think there was somebody, there was one financial stalwart that said that people don't understand how the banking system operates. Because if they did, they will pull out all their money the next day. That's basically, we all have a bank run. But yeah, I told you about how more people understand traditional finance than the smart money thing that I explained at the beginning. So that's why banks are still in existence, because not everybody will be able to get this kind of mindset and work with things. So you need to judiciously study that article. And in the article, I gave some
Please, and in the article, I put some hyperlinks. I put some hyperlinks in the article, and you need to study those hyperlinks. Some of them are hyperlinks to videos, some of them are hyperlinks to. No, it's a WhatsApp call. You can use it. Is it coming?
Is it ringing out?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I think it's a WhatsApp call. What's it on break?
Put it on DNN.
Okay, can I put it on?
DND.
Okay, so put DNN start. Do not disturb mode. Okay.
Or even just flight mode, sir.
No, how are you going? Okay,
will
we're
it-
connected to the hub.
Yes, sir. So let's put it on flight mode.
Will you work?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we're connected to the hub.
okay.
Okay, good. So I said some things about. I was talking about the article I posted. We're also going to tweet it, so please follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. We're also going to tweet it, and I'm also going to do a video series explaining some things in that article. So in the article, there are some hyperlinks to some articles. There are also some hyperlinks to some videos. Make sure you follow those things. So you look at it, you think it's short, but it's something that if you follow can give you maybe 2 weeks of proper study. So for you to really beat the money system, you need to know how money works in the world. So, all right. Before we continue, someone says they have a question. How do you manage a business that is giving you daily money to pursue that of weekly or monthly when it's time consuming? Okay. The answer that I've learned about the 4 things to have access to if you want money. So give them the same. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Give them the same. She learned about the 4 things to have access to if you want money. All right. That's cool. Thanks. So let's continue. So let us do a recap for people that are just joining us. The first part, we talked about the smart money mindset, and we talked about how money is not just what we define in school as the M1, M2, M3 forms of money, or what we have in social studies where they tell you is what happened? Okay, where they tell you, oh, it's a legal tender. Yes, it's a legal tender, but that's not just money. That can be cash. And we talked about the smart mindset of money, or the smart definition of money. It's anything that can facilitate a transaction. So I talked about how your reputation is money, how your name is money, who you are, your words are money. And I gave an example of how I could speak with my guy who does this, who prints that day, for us, and tell him he's print 100 copies for me. Pay you social and so, and he does it, and I'll deliver and get the cash and probably can pay back to him. I'm able to do that because my reputation is now money. Me myself, the relationship that I have with him is now money. So don't look at money as only what you can spend. Look at it as something that you can use to facilitate transactions. That's one aspect. Then I talked about the cash flow, personal finance cash flow. How you need 4 supply of money. You need daily supply of money. You need weekly supply. You need monthly supply. And then you need either quarterly supply, biannual supply, or annual supply. Now, I talked about how people who you see who are able to control money usually have the supply of money common to them. Whether they're bad guys or they're good guys. They always do. They have really good accounting processes. We talk about accounting processes in time. I also talked about the story that I had where I went to talk about money in a church, and how I was telling the young guy that he should put crypto as the thing that can get him money quarterly, or the thing that can get him money biannually or even annually. And I talked about how before you get new money, you must have new skill, new opportunities, new knowledge, and meet new people. So, and I said, new money doesn't come with old money ways. So if you say, example, you want to increase, let's say you earn 50,000 naira every month, and you want to increase it to, say 100K every month. There are new things you have to start doing. There are new skills you have to learn. There's new knowledge that you have to bring. So this is the recap of the first segment. So let's go to the next segment. All right. Now, to complete the story that I gave, I told the woman to start learning how to use her phone. I told the young man that he should not quit because he was speaking about his work. Nigeria, sorry for that. He was speaking about his work like it was with disdain. That's the word. And I asked him a question: do you get paid for what you do? He said yes. He said, but not enough. It doesn't matter. You get to receive cash. Now let's not just talk about cash. And then I asked him, do you learn anything from what you do? He said yes. Do you get to meet new people? He said yes. Okay, I'm just remembering that. I need to ask him that, but I had that in my mind. But what I explained to him was that you're already selling motor parts, is it not? I said, fine. You can go from selling motor parts to selling cars. How about you talk to your guy and say, you already know about motor parts. I mean, you know about cars too, right? You can tell, which
Nigeria, according to some of the parts that are so. Can you guys hear that? Is that audio coming in? The apparently my WhatsApp is still on. Someone is calling. Okay, you can hear it. You can hear it. That's the audio. So we'll do it like maybe really well. So it's fine. No, it's WhatsApp. Someone is calling on WhatsApp. Don't worry. If in case you hear any song, bragging rights, somebody is calling me on WhatsApp, and my phone is not using the stream, so I can't go on WhatsApp. On the DNS. Okay, so just put it on that.
Sorry about this, guys. So while we are doing that, let me continue. So I told you, I said you can go from selling motor parts to also selling cars. Add it to it. What you need to do is the people that come in to buy motor parts, you can tell them, Oga, we get consignment, please sell you cars. Let us know the type that you want. You can make orders. The people who bring in the motor parts, who do importation of these parts, don't they also import cars? You can speak with them to argue to part of their vendors in quotes, people who sell part of their merchants, part of their middlemen. So I was beginning to expand his mind on how he can make money and not look at the thing that he really does with this day. A very good example. Say you are somebody who has a very small business, like probably you sell things. The hospital is on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Nigeria had lectures like that, so wait to another day. Alright, so I'll just continue before, and you know the thing to me that we already have, and it's also one of the comparison a lot. Probably you're somebody who's 20 years old and maybe you're not having a lot of money this period. He's the same age as you and he's doing what he was 15. You also don't know whatever relationship that he had thing in your money journey. Don't try to compare. Be inspired by other people's success. Life is a personal race. Everybody's money races are quite different. Who is able to control annually? It's all about mental.
With money. I was letting this guy know that that's basically what you need to do.
You already have something that's bringing you money. You want to maintain it and add more to it. So let's give an example of say you are somebody who sells things. Maybe you sell food. You can save as much money to set up another one and get someone else to manage that one. Or you can begin to form good relationships with people who already buy food. Today you are seeing. Now remember what I said. New money comes with new skill, new knowledge, new people, and new opportunities. You need to be willing to see all of this. And it's don't look at your offloading and reloading container or spare parts. Hey, but if talk to your guy, you guys can expand and start selling cars also. So he was thinking about that. And I said, while you're doing that, while you're already looking at this, you want to start working with people. Start things to start researching with. One of them is that link, because I said you have to be money smart before you can be crypto. You handle crypto the exact same way you handle your money, which means it really will not multiply. A lot of people who make money from crypto today, if you check before they started making money, it's with all the ages who are able to make money from crypto, something happened to them. Something happened. They got to understand how crypto works. It's not amazing. Okay. Something happened to their mind. They got to begin understanding what money actually is, how it works, and how to multiply it. So it wasn't just that, let's go into crypto, started trading, and we're making a lot of money and all. Yes, that happened, but for that, so whatever processes that you already have, say you're working, say you have, start thinking about expansion. How can you grow the business that you already have? How can you make whatever it is that you're doing way better than how it is now? How can you get more people to be to work with you to make it better? How can you expand, enlarge, and grow bigger? That's how to start bringing new money in. Okay. Talked about money flow. Okay. So I think we'll go into. That's fine. Is it working? Is it wrapped up? All right. Please confirm if you can still hear me. Please just send a message. Okay. So we're going to do the question and answer segment. The Ben says I'm learning a lot. Yeah, I've read that already. But then he says money is anything that can be used as a medium of exchange and assessment of it. Yeah, and that also reflects to the person. Money shouldn't be limited to paper. Yeah, money is value. That's from Melvin. Abidemi says money exists in three forms, M1 and 23. If you cannot see it in your mind, you cannot have it in your hand. That's true. Okay, so Melvin says you want to get new money, new people, and learn new things. What? Okay. So you need to increase your voice. Okay, money evolves and so must your business. Okay, that's from your backer. Sorry guys, if you're having background noise. Our neighbors are telling my generals. Alright, so let's head to the question and answer segment. Please let me know before I go there, if you can hear me, please say something, type something in the chat box so I can please bring some closer. Just push it. Push the table. Okay, is this better? Is it louder? Is it louder? Can you hear me? Okay, please do, yeah. Okay, this is better. Please send a message if you can hear me. Just say something. Alright, so we'll start with the people here. How are you guys? It's good to see you. Good to see all of you. I've not seen both of you since the Borderless event. How about you? Were you around the Borderless event? Okay, we're not. Cool. Okay, so please just introduce yourself. What's your name? Israel. Okay, so we have Israel here. We have Precious here. We have Tochi here, Tochi Blessing. We have Ebube here. We have Frank Obaka here. We have Cholo here. We have Makaria here. What's the name, please? What? Topman. Yeah, we have Topman here. Okay, so before we start taking questions from people online, I'd like to take questions from you guys. Does anybody here have any question? Okay, so Topman.
So what about not, because I was telling you not to stay.
What you already have?
What about photos? What do you have to say about a situation where what you already have sounds like one obstacle between what you want to do? How do you manage that? Like, when you listen to a lot of them are demanding for your life and you don't like
For your time. For your life. Okay, for your time.
For me, I mean, my life has become my life.
Yes, true.
You work from morning to evening and this one is demanding this some hours and you want to, your future, you're thinking your future is here, your grace.
Okay.
So what happens? What happens to that?
Okay. First off, from what you already do, what have you learned? What do you do first of all? Okay, it's not in particular. Okay. So I think I'll give three scenarios, three answers or options. The first thing, let's use somebody who was working in the banking industry. I don't know if anybody read in the Bible where Jesus made a parable where he said that he gave a parable of somebody who found that his boss was going to fire him. It was like a financial institution. That's to let you know that banking is starting now. It's the desk, it's time memorial. This is when we had physical form of money. So the man now spoke to, it was like a banking thing. He now spoke to 3 other clients and said, oh, you are owing, let's say, £5,000. Don't pay 5,000, bring 2,500. I will cancel the debt for you. He told the other one, you're owing 10,000, don't bring 10,000, bring 5,000, cancel the debt for you. And then he told some others. From what he had done, he now established a relationship with those people. And then Jesus ended that parable by saying that the children of the world is like they're wiser than the children of God. What Jesus was talking about was relationships. So if you are somebody who you feel like you need to leave this industry, you need to leave your 9 to 5, the first thing I would ask is, the 9 to 5 that you are at, what have you used it for? Have you used it to gain relationships with people? Have you formed friendships in that 9 to 5? Or is it just all work for you? If you form friendships, if you form relationships, that's one. And then the next thing is, what knowledge have you gotten from there? If you've gotten some knowledge, then when you leave, you can provide those knowledge as consultancy to other people. You can do what we're doing now. No, how many of you here paid to be here? Nobody. But you're to audition value, you're learning something. You can do what I'm doing now to build your brand. Even before you leave the company or whatever establishment, and have a plan before you go out. You take, for example, how many of us remembered during there was this oil boom in Nigeria? A lot of people were working in Shell, working in ExxonMobil, working in Shell. And then when they let them off, they still broke. Did you ever wonder, like, you were working in a place where you're being paid 1 million every month? What were you doing with the money? What were you doing with the relationships that you had? So apparently these guys were not saving. That's another aspect. The older you get, the more planned your life has to be. When you're maybe in your teens, maybe your early 20s and all, especially if you're with your parents here and all, you can afford to live life a certain way. They will always love you, they will always take care of you. That's if you're in a good home, yeah, they're able to take care of you. If you're not, you have to take responsibility quickly, early enough. So you can't just make decisions haphazardly. So if you're being paid, there has to be a savings that you can fall back to. We'll talk about that in the next money we talk. There has to be savings that you can fall back to. So you don't spend all the money at once. And also, you build relationships. So by the time you are ready to leave, you have something to fall back on while you're pursuing your dreams. Pursuing dreams is just like building startups. It takes everything. It takes more than you can actually give. Because it makes you now have to increase your capacity to do something. So when you follow dreams, you are not going to don't have the time and say, I work from now to now, like you do in job. You're going to work almost 24 hours as an entrepreneur. I don't know who I've seen that TikTok trend where the person said, I didn't want to do 9 to 5, so right now I become an entrepreneur. and I work 24 hours. Because that's exactly what it is. Right? That's exactly what it is. But a lot of people don't understand that being an entrepreneur, it means that you're able to build something and make it big enough to accommodate other people, not just yourself. When you're working as just yourself. When you're an entrepreneur, it has to become big. It has to grow, even if you die. You get. So the work that you are in, make sure that it's not just all work for you. Make sure you're learning. Make sure that you are building capacity, you're building relationships, and then you are saving. So it should be okay. So I'm going to work here for maybe the next 6 months. What am I going to do in the next 6 months? So for top man, for the person who wants to do this, who wants to leave, if he's saying that, okay, right now, he has found out that this is another calling that he has, and where he's at is not good enough, he wants to leave, he should give himself maybe like 6 months. If he has not done all of this, he should give himself like 6 months, save, build relationship, build knowledge, and then have a plan for, okay, by the time I leave here, what am I going to be doing on my own? As maybe as a business person. If he's a young person, probably he's under his family, he has people that can send him money and all. Fine, leave, pursue your dreams. You're young. At that point you can survive. But if you have people under you that you need to take care of, You have probably family, you have maybe you're married, you have kids, you have school fees to pay and all. There has to be a plan. You cannot just up and go because you know be telling Junior that I'm I'm chasing my dreams. I cannot pay your school fees because I'm chasing my dreams. You cannot do that. So if you're somebody young and you can fine, that's what this age is, this period is for. I actually cannot do that because half I have to take care of. But thank God I'm not working. I build stuff from the beginning. But if you're young and you're only feeling yourself, how much will you take it to do for the day? You can call anybody and I need this, and then they will send to you. But if you already have responsibilities, you have to do the plan. You cannot just do it anyhow. So whoever that person is, let them know this. So for the next they should give themselves 6 months and then do this. They should build capacity, build relationships, and begin saving. So by the time they leave, it doesn't hurt them, so much. You can pursue your passion and also take up responsibilities that they have. Is that fair? Okay, so who else has a question? Yeah, Akarai. Akarai.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, my question is concerning the relationship.
Yeah.
In creating relationships, when you meet someone that already probably has family, that it takes time for you to fit in to their world. So here's my question. How do you, of course, if you want to create a relationship with this kind of person, you have to exchange values. Okay. So my question is, what kind of value, how do you know the kind of values to put up with these persons? Because now you want to create a relationship with them there. So how do you
What kind of value that you
yes,
provide?
yes, that's the first question. And then the second one, consistency, persistence, and nonchalancy affect, how does it affect making money?
Okay. So there are two questions. First question is when you want to create relationships, what kind of value do you provide? That's one. And then the next one is does consistency and nonchalancy affect money creation? Okay, so let's start with the first one. There are two types of relationships. There are vertical relationships, there are horizontal relationships. A vertical relationship is either from up to down or from down to up. People who already who know more than you, or who have more than you, who are willing to give you something. And then in turn, I think most times, for most mentors I've spoken with, it's just basically availability and your time. That's usually just what they need. It's not like they'll tell you, true mentors won't tell you, okay, bring money or bring this, help you. A lot of mentors, it's not money that's the problem. They're looking, just as you're trying to create a relationship with them, you're trying to create one also with another person. Let me give you guys an example. Me and Chioma were at the LGN network, Love for Dwelling network in Lagos. And then we had is it working? Okay. We had they brought some big guys to come and speak with us. People who are really big in the industry. And the man was talking to us about how to build a business, and talked about also networking and relationships. So it was time for question. I quickly asked the question. But it's not working. Is he Wi-Fi on?
Back.
Back. Okay. So I quickly asked the question. And then I used the question to shoot my shots. So I asked the question. I said, okay, I handle this. My question is, sir, how do I get to meet you? How do I get to work with you? Because you've told us about company, how to build. I already know how to do this. I told him about how we already have an accountant who manages our finance and everything. So this is what I need now is the big box to get to the next stage. And I need people like you to get to the next stage. I shot my shots. And funny enough, we became, the relationship started almost immediately. I was in Lagos recently, and someone was saying, okay, have you seen your father? I said, oh, no, we haven't yet, because he wasn't around. And he said, have you known him since? I said, no, it was during that event that we got to know. What happened? I made myself available. There are times when you book meetings, okay, call me by 2. I call him by 2, he's not available. He's 6, I call him by 6. There was a day I actually called him four times in a day. And until he had the time, I will talk and I will keep updating him. This is what we're doing. In turn, he can send me message. Basically, go and do. I mean, all of you here, you hear when I say, hello sir. Sometimes when I'm hello sir, I have like 4 this kind of people who can basically send me message to do something. Sometimes the message requires money, and I'm not asking them. Just your common sense and do what you're supposed to do if I have it available. Just some of them are hello. You hear when I talk with this person, I'm a screen caller, and I just have to do what I'm doing and speak with them. It's a mentor-mentee relationship. And what I'm giving them is my time. What they're giving me in value is networks. There are some, okay, for plan A, there are some other things that are going to happen very soon. And I spoke to him, this is what we want to get to. I need connection to this and this and this. And he says, okay, remind me later. It's because that is what he can give. I'm never going to ask him for money. So, I need, because what he's going to give is way more than money. So, some persons don't have, for a mentor relationship, some persons get it wrong. It's okay to ask for assistance when you need something. For example, when we're having borderless, he was part of the sponsors. He actually sent me money for the whole this. I was just asking him, sir, CEO. I'm not asking for money for personal activity. I'm showing that, I have this thing to do. Please, I need your help. And he was willing, very willing to do that. And a lot of them who are actually like that. So it's about you making yourself available. It's always about your availability and your time with them. That's basically the value that I think you can give to mentors. And then in exchange, you can give you connections. They can give you support, advice. This is really, really important if you're an entrepreneur. They can give you all of those things. But it's basically just about availability. Willingness, time. That's just it. Then your other question, what's the word you use? Consistency and nonchalancy. Yes, it affects. Say, for example, how many of you know how much you make in a month? How much you make and how much you spend? I mean, how much you spend? So when we were creating this planner, I added something, and I added something here, finance tracker, and I told them, okay, you have it in your own. Okay, yes. Okay, I'll give you a own, and I did bring it in the house. I've actually printed. I'll bring it. So we had a finance tracker, income, expenses, and savings. Then there's a part for investment. I learned this thing in 20. I was in my year 1. I think that was in 2014. In my year 1. I wasn't earning so much. It's not about how much you earn. It's about discipline, and it kind of gives you consistency. In my year 1, I think there was a month that all I made was 7,000. I'm telling you, I don't know how. Okay, because we're in school, so we walk to school, walk to class, we walk to church. I used to check it. Who saw my pictures as I was posting? The economy boy, I used to check a lot. So we walk to school, we walk to church, so we didn't spend so much on transport. I know 7K was as a result of someone dash 100 naira, dash me 200, dash me 500. But I was diligent. To write how much I had gotten in that month. It was 7,000. It was 7,000. And I used to be hungry a lot. I used to want for cash a lot when I was in school. And it was painful because I felt like I could do a lot. Many people just treat me to just go into class and then maybe to pay my school fees at the end of the day. I had to learn, that's the thing I had to learn different things. But I was consistent with keeping how much I was earning. Something happened to me that year. So 7,000 naira this month. Next month I think it was 8,000. The upper month was about, remember to sell. I made a conscious decision. I said I want to start making money. If I probably wasn't recording what I was making, I wouldn't know how I should grow. I mean, we have this thing called SMART goals in shape. They tell you specific, measurable, what's the accountable, I mean? Then how realistic, T is what's T? Check that one later. But it's measurable. You can't say, okay, I want to go to this point when you don't know where you are. Like, how are you going to say, okay, I want to go when you don't know where you are? You don't know what you spend on a monthly basis. And you'll be surprised that a lot of the guys who are able to control money, they do these things. They have personal accountants. Just as they're able to go to the bank, they're able to just call their branch managers and say, what I need such and such. They have personal accountants who can tell them with one Excel sheet, this is how much you spent on your mistress. I know some of them. This is how much you spent on your show for 1 month. This is some of them. Their wives don't know about their money, but their accountants, like everything, personal accountants. Some have their accountants separate for businesses and then for themselves. So these guys who have a lot of money are able. They have this. Then you that want to go to that level, you're not doing it. You're doing something wrong. So consistency first is built in you being accountable first for yourself. How much do I make a monthly? So in January should be like that. Thank God this is happening at the end of the year. So in this, from now till then, start recording how much money comes to you. Especially as the 100 naira comes to someone dashing money. Put it in there. Then you spend money on whatever, you put it in there. So that at the end of the month you can see the glance, okay. So in this month I made this, I spent this. Okay, next month I want to save this. You can begin having that as a plan. And that's consistency. Nonchalancy, yes, it affects your money flow. Because even God himself won't give money to a careless person. I'm pretty sure a lot of times we've heard in church when we're being taught that, that God is a businessman, you know. And when you look at the parable of Jesus, he kept talking about those things. The person with 5 talents, 1 talent, 10 talents, what they all did. It is only the person that didn't have so much that misbehaved the more. The person that had more was able to do something with it. It goes to show you that accountability is important. You can't be nonchalant about the money that comes to you. If you're nonchalant about the small things, when the big things come, you're nonchalant about them also, and you use them. So yes, they do affect your money.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to see what the first question I asked. Okay, the scenario you gave to me was the scenario where I had an opportunity to meet this person. So now it's like it's very easy for you to create this relationship. Because maybe, let's say the person, like, he was your mentor at that particular time. What if you have the opportunity to, like, go to this person?
Nobody never has an opportunity. Everybody has. There's opportunities also. Everybody has.
Maybe you think the person is not the opportunity.
Everybody has. The way I shot my shots, he was on stage. I was holding mic with my other people around and asking. I never met him before.
So what do you do? Let's say there wasn't a platform or something.
If I got to know about him, I would look up to him. Or send a message. And continue sending a message. There's LinkedIn. There is Twitter. A lot of these guys are approaching. You probably don't know because you've not tried. A lot of them. I get very, very surprised when someone says, "Oh, thank you for replying my message." So I should have replied it. Oh, I have the option to not reply. I said to myself, oh, so I have the option to, because they look at me and like, it's good. This one, that one. And then they not send me a message on WhatsApp or send me a mail. Then I reply and they're like, oh, thank you so much for replying. And I'm thinking, should I not have replied? You know, and there are a lot of them like that. There are a lot of them that when you send them a message, they actually reply or actually reply to your email or reply to your chat. And you can kick off, from them. So there are always opportunities, always. I remember, I think in year 2 when I was in school, it was about economics. I didn't understand something. I went to one of the branches, First Bank, and I wanted to talk to the banker to understand basically how the money work. I wanted to be sure what teaching in school was applicable in real life. I didn't even know it was a branch manager. I just wanted to talk to somebody or somebody in the bank. I went and I spoke. So sometimes it's just you being bold and you knowing what you want to do and going for it. Whether or not you feel a reply or don't reply. There are a lot of successful people around us that you can always get value from. So it could start with maybe consistently following the updates, maybe on LinkedIn or Twitter, and then making a comment. Don't take note of you. You get, and then it now goes to the point where you can now shoot a shot in DM, or you can now send a message or send a mail. to them. So there are always opportunities. Okay.
Can I-
Okay, here.
I don't want to contribute to what you said.
Okay.
There are people that naturally you can't accept rejection. I understand where you're coming from.
Oh, okay.
You're shy of how the person might look at it or the person's response. But the whole truth is, no one cannot speak. Understand? No matter the level where you are, if you have something you want to get from someone, you ask.
True.
Understand? So it's better the person tells you, okay, I can't help you, but deep down, you know you've tried. And you have it in your mind space that
So you see, no dance skill.
I think we all grew up with that mindset.
Mindset of.
Some people grow up with that mindset of these big people are.
Oh,
like,
okay,
yeah.
yes, true. Okay, so
Like-
Choma, just ask the question.
Just to add to what you said.
Okay.
I know what how I got access to when I got a full number of the branch manager of the bank.
Yeah.
It was just, I walked into the bank, I had something to say. And it was free.
Okay.
So I was shocked how easy it was when you
Just
get.
get it.
I just gave him a pack of free food and I got his phone number. And it's his real phone number.
So you can come with gifts.
I think it's being intentional.
Yeah, be intentional basically. So you got the answer, right?
Like,
Choma.
I just say that Miss Kala, like I targeted Miss Kala for.
This one targeted me. God. I was surprised. Guys, if you're online, please give us a
So even if I'm passing, I'm looking at her, find a way to talk to her. Or she's even, I agree to meet her, and she just said me about like you. I may not understand what it's doing, but I said I will work for it because it's like an access to get close to her. So, services, that's what she means about services. They don't need your money, but your time and services. Oh, yes, sir. Your yes, sir. That is what you can offer. Why you don't have to find. My question was, at what level do we need mentorship?
Okay, I would say I think at the level where you either want to do something or you want to expand. But I've always needed mentors for every part of my life because I started doing business. I started doing business in 2008, but I knew I wanted to do business for life. In 2012 wasn't I knew. So doing like 4 years, and those 4 years I was looking for mentors. I had very terrible experiences with bad set of mentors. But once I became intentional about it in 2012, then I said, okay, I'm going to study management in school, 2013. Before I started getting mentors, it was 2014. So it starts with being intentional, and then it is when you want to do something new, or when you want to expand. So when you feel like you need new knowledge, that's the point that you need mentors to work with. Okay, any other question? Okay, so let's start by guys online. I hope you've been enjoying the session. It's not just you guys that are here. We also have people physically at the hall. Maybe you should take a video later on that will post on Twitter so everybody can see. We're not the only ones here. All right. So the first question I'll be answering. God bless Harrison says. How do you manage a business that is giving you daily money to pursue that of weekly or monthly when it is time consuming? Very simple. Train people to replace you. You can't do everything yourself. And I said before that entrepreneurship is building something of value and making that value big enough to accommodate others. Others means people inside the company and also people outside the company. So people inside the company as staff. Get interns, get people to learn from you. We talked about mentorship here. Get people that you can mentor, that you can be responsible for, because being a mentor is also a responsibility. There are times when some persons will need some sort of challenge and you might need to step in to help, probably financially. Your time also needs to be given to advice and to helping and things like that. So you need to get somebody who is able to do what you can do. And it might take a while. You can't do everything by yourself. So that gives you time to start pursuing what can give you weekly money or monthly money. That's basically the answer. Then the next question we have, somebody online says, okay, you'd like to learn about cryptocurrency exploration for profits. So for cryptocurrency exploration for profits, I'll give you, there's a playlist that we have on Crypto Smart. There's a playlist that we have that we should study. You should listen to this, you should follow that playlist. I'm going to post it now in the comments section. It is the free edutainment playlist. So the playlist for education and entertainment. So it tells you everything about crypto. That's basically just the basics. So it's not the main thing. So I'm posting it now in the comment section. Playlist. Crypto Smart. Sorry. Okay. So that's how you give yourself time to learn for exploration and for profit. So it starts with exploring how the platform works, what crypto is, how crypto basically works, and then how can you make money from it, how can you profit from it, because people lose money in this space, crypto. Then the next question is on wealth creation. Oh boy. Okay. For wealth creation, first of all, understand that it's not a one-day thing. It's not only a one-year thing, because we're talking about wealth, not just money. You're talking about wealth, which has a lot to do with control. And when you talk about wealth, it's not just having money. How many of us saw that video that I posted about poor people and rich people? Okay. So what I say rich people want to do? Control. Poor people just want to what? Have. So wealth creation has a lot to do with control of money, and it also has to do with thinking. I think what you can do if you're listening is start the video from the beginning, where I talked about how money is not just cash, how you can be money. There are a lot of people who I know get loans from the banks without any collateral. They are the money, they are the collateral. And it's not 20 million loan, it's money. And when they tell you this, you're like, how? Because it's not about the cash, it's about you as a person. How many of us heard about the FTX saga? How many of us followed it? Okay, remember the part where Oga was playing game and was signing 208 million euros? Why? Why did that happen? Because his SBF, he had branded himself a certain way. So the VC company could just release it. Even though he was doing something that if any other founder is doing, you'll be like, are you joking with us right now? 208 million. I'm here asking for $2 million. I'm here asking for $2 million for clip. 208. He was playing game. And he was having a go. And they knew. And the other guy was like, oh, I like this guy. Why? They had seen some things before. The name, the brand was there. The FTX, SBF. He was basically building on his name. That also tells you something. That humans, it's quite easy to fool people. It's quite easy to just create something that is not real and make people believe in it and get their money. That happens is that there's a lot of things that. But the only difference between us and is because I don't have the heart. I don't have the mind. I don't have that mind. If I had that mind as 2016, I will not create exchange. As it wrong, you will not know that it's me. Or do what this other lady did. That she got people to trust her and then took their money. The people's money that we have had to return and say, oh, this is your mindset that you're calling. You don't want your money, take it back. It's not me who might give the multiply money for you. There's people that we have to return the money and give this one and say, take. You're not ready yet to crypto. Don't put this money to crypto. From top of things were here. But not everybody will be, like people look at our card and they will trust. She don't go on your money. But you are giving me responsibility to go and multiply it for you. And I have to tell you straight up how the industry works. Not take your money, something happens, and then when I fight, I bring my lawyer and stuff. But you really can't sue me because you sign something and people don't really read. Do you get it? So it's easy to just create false, maybe a false brand or a false whatever, make people trust you and take money from them. The fact that he was able to get $280 investment, being on serious, shows you that it's not about the cash, it's about you as a person, it's about your brand. When people hear your name, what can they associate it with? When people work with you, what can they associate it with? It's about relationships. So he had built relationships like that. He had built a brand that made people want to trust him. And at the end of the day, they just crumbled because of that's what we've done. So you got to understand that wealth creation is not a one-day thing, and it's not just about having money. It's about being able to multiply this thing. It's not just about having. It's about being able to control it. It's about being able to be more than it, because that's what that can make you tell somebody, I didn't know million, and they will send it to you without asking for collateral and trust. Even when money has not put them inside, I beg, something that I'll pay you 2 months or give me 2 months, and you are able to deliver back, and the trust continues. So wealth creation is not so much as a one-day thing. It's more of something that you have to plan for a period of time. And yeah, you can't really do wealth creation without God, or without. There has to be some spiritual aspects to it. So it's not something that you do just based on economics. A lot of the guys that you look at today, some of them that we call very rich, a lot of us don't know that some of them are Christians. We don't know some of them are Jews that have a certain mindset to what money is. We know that some of them also are ritualists that do something terrible with the devil, that they're able to get this. So wealth creation cannot go void of any spiritual activity, because you need to condition yourself to understand what money is and actually be able to multiply it. So if you want to start on the road on wealth creation, start with the smart money mindset. First of all, understand that money is not just cash, and then first of all understand that you need to build relationships and structures and processes. Then probably you can send me an email so we could have some sort of mentorship session. So I'm sending my email, Okay, so the next question says activate the money mindset. Okay, I think if you watch this video, you would have done that. To know more about crypto and explore, yep, I've sent the link. There are 2 things you need to read. The first one is the fiat versus Bitcoin link. The next one is the playlist. So I've sent them there. How to control cash flow. I've talked about it already. Financial enlightenment. I think you have that already. Okay. So these questions have been answered. Okay. So just to recap on how to control cash flow. I told you about the 4 supply of money you need. So you need to strengthen the one that you already have and look for ways to create the other ones and strengthen them too. And I also talked about how you have to keep personal finance records. So I think that's all. That's all for today. Does anybody have any comments, questions? So the last thing, top digital skills to learn in 2023. Okay, I should talk about them. People now, people stop digital skills to learn in 2023. But off the top of my head, if you want to be a tech person, there's Borderless. Come to the hall. You can sign up on. We're ending sign-ups by I think 30th this year. So being a tech person is a digital skill, but I also know that a lot of tech people don't understand how to arrange money, how to work with money. So it's quite different. So top digital skills to learn. You can learn to become a graphic designer. The way the world is going, we're going to have a lot of applications. We're going to have a lot of things that are dependent on the internet. So you need to learn really well how to use the internet. You also need to learn to be a good teacher. Somebody do what I'm doing. Basically, be able to teach people and mentor people. What are digital skills? There are lots of others. There are lots of other digital skills. You might not be somebody who knows to do graphic design. You might not be somebody who knows to do tech. You might be a writer. So you learn to do copywriting. You could learn to do technical writing. You could learn to write for companies. You could also learn to be a digital marketer. That's a very good digital skill. You can learn to be somebody who knows how to teach and teach what you know online. Digital skills are not so different from normal life skills. It's just that you should be able to apply those skills digitally and teach people through the various digital platforms that we have. So what we call technical writing today, some people were doing it for businesses in the 80s, writing for their businesses on paper. There are magazines that they would need writers to do being sent out monthly. So there were people who wrote some sort of small handout books, and then their writers write for them. It's just that right now we can create ebooks and all. So it's almost the same skill, but with the application of the internet. The only thing that really is different is the tech aspect, where you're building these platforms with codes and all. But even before now, guys were already doing that in different areas in the 80s. So yeah, what you can do next to find out the top digital skills you learn 2023, you can just go online and search and look for the one that is probably more applicable to them. Start on that. Thank God we're having this at the end of the year, so you can start 2023 with the new skill and then have a plan. I think I will do a video later on how to plan the 2023, how to plan the next year. So basically watch out for our videos on our different social media platforms. Is there anything I want to say? Anything else? Okay, so any comments, any questions? None? Okay. Just read out some of the comments here. Okay, remember that says money evolves and so, okay, we've talked about this already. So I think the chat was disconnected. I think that's all. Remember that, is the chat showing on your end?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so I think that's all. So thank you guys so much for joining in. For everyone who is here live, and for those of you who are here online, thank you so much for joining in. If you have any questions, if you're already in our WhatsApp group, you can send a message. If you're already on Telegram, you can send a message. If you're on Twitter, you can make a comment, and tag us. We'll definitely reply. So till the next morning meetup, which will be in January, I'm Carla God, and I'm saying bye. So we're ending the stream right now. Okay. This was so exciting. Yeah. Thank you. See you guys later.